Welcome back to Frugal Gamer. Now, we've been discussing on the channel how you can cut down some of your food expenses. And one of the ways that I like to try a lot is by regrowing some food from the scraps. And that is what today's list is going to be. The 5 things that you can regrow in your kitchen. Alright, number 1 is actually going to be celery. Celery is actually fairly simple. All you have to do with celery is get a cup, even if it's just a little cup, or even a bowl will work. And you want to only fill it about that high with water. You only want it about that high, because if you do it too high, you're going to mess it up. Make sure it's that shallow, then put the celery in there, and then it'll start to grow. It actually grows pretty fast. I've actually tried to do this, but I made the mistake of putting too much water, and then it started to kind of rot away, and it started getting too much bacteria because of all the water. So you want to try to make sure that it's very, very shallow water that your celery is in. Don't make it too high, but you also don't want it to be too low. You want it to be enough for the celery to be able to soak it up, because it's a lot of water that's in celery. But celery is one of those things that really grows fast. Like, you can see it growing the next day. You can see it just a little bit, but that little bit is a lot, considering it's only been 24 hours, if that. Maybe even 12. I remember when I first put it in, it grew within 12 hours. So, that's something that grows really fast. Another one that you could be doing is scallions, or what some people know it as green onions. Green onions are these stocky, like, produce, and basically you just cut them up and then you put it on top of your food. What you can do is you can buy some, go ahead and go try it out. The bottoms that you guys usually throw away, do not throw that away. What you can be doing is you can be putting that in a little thing of water. Depending on how large it is depending on how much water you want in there. If it's small, you want it to not be covered by the water, but you want it to be enough for the roots to be able to soak it up and then expand in the water. I remember when I did this, as it grew, I wasn't cutting it because my family wasn't making anything that required scallions or that would be good with scallions even. We were just having stuff like ravioli and spaghetti and a whole bunch of stuff with tomato, and I just don't like that mixture. But anyways, scallions are one of those things that grows really fast as well. Like, you can see it happening in like 4 hours. I think it only took 4 hours for me to actually see it start to grow. But once it gets to a certain amount, you want to lower how much water is in there, just because it's already got majority or more water in it already, so it doesn't need as much water. I know that I was keeping it in that large, or not really large, but it was in a cup, and most of it was filled with water, and they were pretty much grown. They were regrown. They were overgrown, pretty much. And they started dying because I didn't lower the amount of water. And when I did, they started to revive again because they were able to just soak up a certain amount of water. But because I never took them out when they were actually fully grown, they're still dying, pretty much. So what I did recently was I planted them in some dirt, and they're doing better in the dirt now. So Just remember, when they're full grown, if you want them to overgrow, you're gonna need to plant them in some dirt. And then number 3 is actually going to be one that a lot of people complain about at the store with how much it is. The third one is avocados. Avocados can be regrown simply from cutting it open, taking out that little spherical, that brown sphere. That is the pit. That pit is the seed. So what you do is you put, I think it was 3 toothpicks in it. You want to do it at an angle. That way it can sit in the cup, and then it's only partially in the water. So the final result should look something like this. You have your avocado pit, you have it in your cup, and then you have 3 toothpicks at an angle so that the toothpicks can rest on the edges of the cup. This way the water is only, or the avocado pit is only partially in the water, like so. You should begin to see some roots coming out of it, and then that's when you should be planting it in some dirt. Alright, and then number 4 is actually going to be romaine lettuce. Romaine lettuce, I mean, you can do it with pretty much all types of lettuce, but with romaine lettuce, it is the easiest and, if I remember correctly, one of the fastest growing species of lettuce. And it doesn't require as much light or anything like that. So you can simply just regrow it on your windowsill, just like the previous 3. The romaine lettuce, all you have to do is the same, pretty much just follow the same steps as you would with the celery. So put it in a cup or a bowl that has shallow water, very shallow water. Make sure it's not too high. It has to be less than whatever it was cut down to. Less than half of whatever it was cut down to. And pretty much you'll see it regrow, I think, in a few days. You'll really see the progress of the growth. And then number 5 is actually going to be something that I haven't tried growing myself, simply because I've never really tried it, so I don't want to get it fresh and then regret it, because fresh where I am is quite expensive. But with lemongrass, from what I remember, all you have to do is set it in some water, put it in a little plastic cup, I guess, set the lemongrass in some water. It should start rooting, and then you pretty much set up a little dirt container. Don't make it too deep. Make sure that it's only the roots, if I can speak today, it's only the roots that should be in the dirt. And then your lemongrass should be able to grow pretty fast. Though, like I said before, I'm not exactly sure because I've never tried to grow it myself. So, it's just something to test out. But, yep, those were the 5 foods that you can actually regrow in your kitchen with little to no effort. You can even grow it on your windowsill, pretty much. Pretty much all of these. But, if you are already a gardener, then maybe you would rather just check out how to do regular gardening, like guerrilla gardening, or, you know, companion planting, or whatever it is. I actually have a website, www.irish-thumb.net. look it up, put that in your search bar, or not your search bar, but your URL address bar. Type it in, and that's my website. It is for gardeners, or first-time gardeners, beginner gardeners. Some of the stuff is even for advanced gardeners. There's not a lot on there right now, but if you're somebody who is already starting to grow your garden, it might be a good thing to look into, just because there's a lot more that I can cover on the website than I can in a single video. But I think that's it for today. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know how you like the website even, if you look it up. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.